Okay. So, what is the purpose of Moshiach, the Messianic era, and thereafter the second portion, which is resurrection of the dead, is simple. The revelation of divinity, of godliness, and the banishment of the impurity, the spirit of impurity in this world, of negativity. The spirit of impurity that is removed. How's that going to be done? It's entirely dependent on drawing down godliness, the essence of God, through the 248 positive commandments. Which the 248 positive commandments are 248 represented in the 248 limbs of the vital soul. There's 248 physical limbs of the body, but there's 248 limbs of the vital soul of the Jewish people. And they're going to be suffused, the vital soul of the entire Jewish people, with godliness. And this is achieved by each and every one of us individually performing the 248 positive commandments of the Torah. And the purpose is also dependent of this revelation of divinity. When the spirit of impurity, as we explained, the three impure klipos, that which is completely evil, no longer has nurturing. It's no longer nurtured. That depends. Thank you, Zisala. All right, she had her debut. And the negativity will be completely banished. How? Because we observe 365 prohibitions of the Torah that prevents the 365 blood vessels from drawing nurture from the spirit of impurity. So, in other words, it's dependent, as we explained previously, on the Torah mitzvahs that we fulfill. And then, as we see, of course, everything that we explained previously, that also on everything that allows us to fulfill Torah and mitzvahs. Everything that is giving us the capacity that we could do a mitzvah, as we explained at great length previously. Okay. So, what is the difference between the times of Moshiach and today? The truth is, let's look at the very words. What today we are in exile, and hopefully by the end of today, we'll already be in redemption. Exile in Hebrew is Gola, and redemption is Geula. They're spelled the exact same way, except for one letter difference. What's that one letter difference? An aleph that represents the oneness of God. Sorry, 1 second. Here you have it. Sorry, it's not so, I hope it's clear. Gola means exile. Geula means redemption. Completely different ideas. A time of darkness where there can be war, can be famine, and a time of redemption where it's all gone. All evil is eradicated. What's the difference between these two words? One letter, letter aleph, in the word of redemption. Meaning, the Aleph is referring to oneness of God. When we will be able to perceive the oneness of God in our lives, in the world around us, that is redemption. How are we going to perceive it? Eye to eye? In other words, to truly perceive it? When we work at it. It's dependent on our work, our divine service during now exile. That every mitzvah that we do is really an expression of the oneness of God. Everything that leads to the mitzvah, the food and the drink, that gives us the energy, and everything else that is engaged, that has a vitality from klipas noiga, that is used towards the mitzvah, is elevating that object, that reality, and bringing the final redemption so much closer. So it's totally up to me, and totally up to you. It's in our hands. And you know what, folks? We're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's entertain questions. I've lost the feed on some questions, I'm sure. Andrew, does that mean at the time that we are all Beinanim, no longer in training? The time is, yeah, we are much more than just a Beinani in times of Moshiach. The level of tzaddikim, of the righteous. It's hard to believe, but yeah, just as they can perceive now, we will be able to perceive then too. For every mitzvah, prayer, charity we do in a split second, we are out of back. So yep, it can be just one little thing that's going to... An important point over here. Evil, believe it or not, is not here forever. Can't be. God is all but good. He allows the evil to exist, so it should be transformed ultimately. Should be eradicated. How? Because we use, again, the klipas noiga, and it's elevated. So evil's not here for good. Therefore, evil is not cumulative. It doesn't make a mountain. But good does, because good is eternal. The good of a mitzvah is eternal, not just above, but down here below. So it accumulates. So even though we might think, well, there's a lot of evil going around the world, how's it possible Mashiach's going to come today? You know how it's possible? Because of the last 3,300 years of mitzvahs that since Mount Sinai that has been accumulating and piling up together. It could be the last feather, the proverbial broke the camel's back. It could be the last little mitzvah that we do that seems insignificant, that is sufficient to bring the final redemption. That's what Rambam says. We have to see the world as equally balanced between good and evil. And my action right now, or my words, or my thoughts, my willful thoughts can transform the world and change it for good and bring Moshiach right now. So even though right now you're going to see horrific things going on in the world, that doesn't mean that Moshiach can't come now. Doesn't mean that at all. That's a very powerful idea, that capacity is there for all of us, that we can engage in and do our next mitzvah. Okay. Hi, Sari. Okay. Have any questions on Instagram? Folks, Rambam today at 1 o'clock. My weekly Torah studies class is going to be at 5:30. I'm blessed. My granddaughter has her bas mitzvah this evening, so I have to do it earlier. It's going to be at 5:30. There it is. Gola and Geula. Again, Gola and Geula. Okay. All right, folks. Amazing. I'm sorry for all the challenges today and technical challenges. Baruch Hashem, everything worked out. So again, a reminder, 1 p.m. It's going to be Rambam. And at 5:30 will be Torah studies today. Davida, when the wicked be judged on Mount Esav when the Moshiach comes. Yeah, that doesn't mean there won't be judgments. Yes, there will be. Absolutely. Lori, does the world have to descend into more darkness? God forbid, it's enough already. You never knew how low we could get, right? Until we get lower. Yeah. But, yeah. All right, folks. I think that's it. God bless you all. A good tavach. Good week. It's coming from Purim. I have to take the simcha. We've got to be always besimcha. God bless you. I'm Rabbi Rani Fine, coming to you from my home in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day, a good tavach, a good week. Be well. Thank you.